So this is the past paper that came in 2014 for mathematics, and in this video I'm going to share with you the solutions for question 1. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want me to do any solution for any past paper for grade 12, make sure you put your comment down the video. So question 1a says evaluate 1 2 over 3 minus 1 2 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4. Question B says solve this equation 5x minus 8 minus 3 open bracket x plus 1 close bracket is equal to negative 7. Question C says simplify 5 open bracket 2y minus 3 close bracket minus 2 open bracket 5 minus 2y close bracket. And question D says Matea's digital camera stores images on a memory card of capacity 512 units. Given that 2/3 of the memory card is used, calculate the number of unused units, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So question 1a says evaluate 1 2 over 3 minus 1 2 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4. The solution to this question is so to find question 1a, the first thing is to change any mixed fraction into improper fractions in the question. So the question is 1 2 over 3 minus 1 2 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4. So the first thing is to change mixed fractions into improper fractions. So 3 multiplied by 1 plus 2, that's 5 over 3, minus 3 multiplied by 1 plus 2, that's 5 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4. And if you consider board mass, the first thing that comes is multiplication. So I'll multiply 5 over 3 multiplied by 1 over 4. 5 multiplied by 1, that's 5. 3 multiplied by 4, that's 12. So I'm going to have 5 over 3 minus 5 over 12. And the lowest common denominator between 3 and 12, that's 12. 3 into 12, that's 4. So I'll say 4 multiplied by the numerator, which is 5. Then I'll put my minus sign. Then I'll say 12 into 12, that's 1 multiplied by the numerator, which is 5. 4 multiplied by 5, that's 20, minus 1 multiplied by 5, that's 5 over 12. 20 minus 5, that's 15 over 12. So that's my answer to question 1a. Question 1b says solve the solution 5x minus 8 minus 3 open bracket x plus 1 close bracket is equal to negative 7. For question 1b, it says 5x minus 8 minus 3 open bracket x plus 1 close bracket is equal to negative 7. So the first thing is to open up the brackets in this question. So I'll say 5x minus 8, negative 3 multiplied by x, that's negative 3x. Negative 3 multiplied by 1, that's negative 3, is equal to negative 7. The next step is to correct the like terms. So I have 5x minus 3x and negative 8 minus 3 is equal to negative 7. 5x minus 3, that's 2x. Negative 8 minus 3, that's negative 11, is equal to negative 7. Then I'm also going to correct the like terms or transpose negative 11 to the other side. So I have 2x is equal to negative 7 plus 11. When 11 crosses the equal sign, it will be a positive. So I'll say 2x is equals to negative 7 plus 11, that's 4. So divide by 2. The 2 cancel out, so I have x is equals to 4 divided by 2, that's 2. Question 1c says simplify 5 open bracket 2y minus 3 close bracket minus 2 open bracket 5 minus 2y close bracket. Finding the solution to question 1c. So the question is 5 open bracket 2y minus 3 close bracket minus 2 open bracket 5 minus 2y close bracket. So this question says we need to simplify this equation. So the first thing is to open up the brackets. 5 multiplied by 2y, that's 10y. 5 multiplied by negative 3, that's negative 15. Negative 2 multiplied by 5, that's negative 10. Negative 2 multiplied by negative 2y, that's positive 4y. Then I'll correct the like terms. So I have 10y plus 4y, and I have negative 15 minus 10. 10y plus 4y, that's 14y. Negative 15 minus 10, that's negative. For question 1d, it says Matea's digital camera stores images on a memory card of capacity 512 units. Given that 2/3 of the memory card is used, calculate the number of unused units. Given your answer correct to 2 decimal places. Question 1d requires me to find the unused capacity of the memory card. So the capacity of the memory card is 512 units. Yeah, it's 512 units. Then in the question it says if 2/3 has been used, we need to calculate the unused space of the memory card. So we know that the 2/3 is the capacity that has been used. So we can say 2/3 multiplied by 512 to find the used space, and the answer is 341.33 if you round off to 2 decimal places. So that's the used capacity of the memory card. And to find the unused capacity of the memory card, you just subtract 341.33 units from 512. So 512 minus 341.33, the answer is 170.67. So this is the unused capacity of the memory card. Welcome to my channel, and in today's video I'll be looking at the solutions of Science Paper 2 of 2016. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want me to do any solutions of any past paper of grade 12, don't forget to put your comment down the video. And specifically I'll be looking at question 4. So let's get started. So question 4a reads, explain what is meant by limiting reagent, 1 mark. Question B says 2.4 grams of magnesium reacts with 0.30 mole of hydrochloric acid. Loma numero 1, write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction, 2 marks. Loma numero 2, determine the limiting reactant, 2 marks. Loma numero 3, calculate the mass in excess for the substance which is which is in excess 1 mark. And the total marks for this question is 6 marks. Question 4a says, explain what is meant by limiting reactant 1 mark. A limiting reactant. This is a reactant that is in less quantity during the reaction. And the limiting reactant or reagent determines the amount of product that is formed. Question B reads, 2.4 grams of magnesium reacts with 0.3 mole of hydrochloric acid. Roman numeral 1. Write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction. 2 marks. When magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid, the product that is produced is magnesium chloride plus hydrogen gas. So the symbol of magnesium is Ag and the state symbol is S plus. The symbol of hydrochloric acid is HCl and the state symbol is Aq. So the product that will be produced is magnesium chloride, which has the chemical symbol of MgCl2 and the state symbol is Aq plus hydrogen gas, and the chemical symbol of hydrogen gas is H2 and the state symbol of hydrogen gas is G. And to balance up the chemical equation, just place a 2 where there is hydrogen. Question B, Roman numeral 2 says, determine the limiting reactant. 2 marks. To answer question B, Roman numeral 2, the first thing is to write down the mole ratio between magnesium and hydrochloric acid from the balanced chemical equation. So from the balanced chemical equation, the number of mole of magnesium is 1 and the number of mole of hydrochloric acid is 2. And the next thing is to compare the actual number of moles that will take part in the reaction. So to find the number of moles of magnesium, I will say number of moles is equals to mass over molar mass. And the mass we have been given, which is 2.4 from the equation, divided by the mole ratio, which is 24. 2.4 divided by 24, that's 0.1 mole of magnesium, which will take part in the chemical reaction. And for hydrochloric acid, we have been given in the question, which is 0.3 mole of hydrochloric acid. So the next thing is to compare the actual number of moles and the mole ratio from the balanced chemical equation. So I'll say magnesium and hydrochloric acid. The mole ratio from the balanced chemical equation, we can see that 1 mole will react with 2 moles of hydrochloric acid. But from the actual balanced chemical equation, we have 0.1 mole of magnesium react with X. 1 multiplied by X, that's X is equals to 0.1 multiplied by 2, that's 0.2 mole of hydrochloric acid. The next thing is to find the number of mole of the number of mole of magnesium. So 1 to 2 and X to 0.3. So X multiplied by 2, that's 2X is equals to 0.3 multiplied by 1, that's 0.3. Divided by 2, divided by 2, and 0.3 divided by 2, that's 0.15 mole of magnesium. So to compare these 2 moles, 0.2 mole of hydrochloric acid and 0.15 mole of magnesium, we can say 0.2 mole is greater than 0.15 mole of magnesium. In this case, we can say magnesium is the limiting reactant. Question B, Roman numeral 3 reads, calculate the mass in excess for the substance which is in excess. To find question B, Roman numeral 3, I need to find the mass of the excess substance. So to find the mass of the excess substance, I know that the number of mole of the limiting reactant is 0.1 mole, and I know that the excess substance has 0.3 mole. So the first thing, I'm going to say 0.3 mole minus 0.1 mole. In this case, I'm trying to find the excess number of moles from the equation. So 0.3 mole minus 0.1 mole, I'm having 0.2 mole. Then I'll say mass is equals to number of moles multiplied by the molar mass. So mass is equals to, in this case, the number of moles, I'll use 0.2 multiplied by 36.5. This is the molar mass of hydrochloric acid. So mass is equals to 7.3 grams. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the answers of Science Paper 1 of 2017. And this past paper question was a GC past paper. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And specifically, I'm going to look at the solutions of question B2. So let's get started. Question A reads, what is the difference between density and relative density? 1 mark. Question B reads, figure B2.1 shows a cuboid container that has a 5 centimeter square base and contains water to a height of 6 centimeters. So as you can see from the diagram, the cuboid has the square base of 5 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters. Roman numeral 1, what is the volume of the water? Roman numeral 2, a stone is immersed into the water in the cuboid, causing the water to rise to a height of 8 centimeters. Determine the volume of the stone. 2 marks. Question C reads, if the mass of the stone is 80 grams, calculate the density of the stone. 2 marks. And the total marks of this question was 5 marks. Question A reads, what is the difference between density and relative density? 1 mark. The difference between density and relative density is that density is defined as the mass per unit volume, while relative density is defined as the ratio of the mass of any volume of a substance to the mass of any equal volume of water. Question B reads, figure B2.1 shows a cuboid container that has a 5 centimeter square base and contains water to a height of 6 centimeters. So as you can see from the diagram, the square base is 5 centimeters and the height is 6 centimeters. Roman numeral 1, what is the volume of the water? So to find the volume of the water in the cuboid, the first thing that I'm going to do is to write the formula that is used to calculate the volume of the cuboid. So volume is equals to length times breadth times height. So volume is equals to, the length is 5 centimeters and the breadth is 5 centimeters multiplied by the height. The height is 6 centimeters. So 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 6. My answer will be 150 cubic centimeters. So the volume of the water in the cuboid is 150 cubic centimeters. Question B, Roman numeral 2 reads, a stone is immersed into the water in the cuboid, causing the water to rise to a height of 8 centimeters. Determine the volume of the stone, 2 marks. So this means Roman numeral 1 was 1 mark and Roman numeral 2 was 1 mark. So to find the volume of the stone, the first thing that I'm going to do is to find the final volume. After finding the final volume, I'll subtract the initial volume from the final volume, and that will be the volume of the stone. So to find the volume, I'll say volume is equals to length times breadth times height. Then my length is 5 centimeters multiplied by my breadth is 5 centimeters, and my height, after immersing the stone into the water, my height will be 8 centimeters. So 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 8, my final volume will be 200 cubic centimeters. And to find the volume of the stone, I'll say my final volume subtracted by the initial volume. So the final volume is the volume that I'm just from finding, which is 200 cubic centimeters. So I'll say 200 cubic centimeters minus the initial volume, which is 150 cubic centimeters. So the volume of the stone is 200 cubic centimeters. 200 cubic centimeters minus 150 cubic centimeters, that's 50 cubic centimeters. Question C reads, if the mass of the stone is 80 grams, calculate the density of the stone, 2 marks. So to find the density of the stone, the first thing I'm going to write the formula of density. So density is equals to mass divided by volume. And the mass of the stone I'm given in the question, which is 80 grams, divided by the volume of the stone, it's 50 cubic centimeters. Then I'll say 80 grams divided by 50 cubic centimeters. My answer will be 1.6 gram per cubic centimeter. So this is the question that came in mathematics 2008. So I'm going to share with you the answers of the second question. And the first question says express x minus 1 divided by 3 minus 2x minus 3 over 5 as a simplified single fraction. Then question B says, given that P is equals to 2, 5, 1, 3, and Q is equals to 3, negative 5, negative 1, and 2, evaluate the first question PQ, second question PQ, and the matrix negative 3, 1, and the last question says solve the equation 5x squared minus 2x minus 1 is equals to 0, giving your answers to 2 decimal. So starting with question 2a, which says x plus x minus 1 divided by 3 minus 2x minus 3 over 5 as a simplified single fraction. The answer to this question can be found in this way. So the first thing to this question is to find the lowest common denominator between 3 and 5, and the lowest common denominator is 15. So we'll say 3 into 15, that's 5. So we're going to say 5 multiplied by the numerators, which is x minus 1. 5 into 15, that's negative 3, and we're going to multiply it by the numerators, and that's 2x minus 3, and we are going to open up the brackets. So we're going to have 5x minus 5 minus 6x plus 9 divided by 15. The next step is to correct the like terms. So I have 5x minus 6x, and I have negative 5 plus 9 divided by 15. 5x minus 6x, that's negative x. Negative 5 plus 9, that's 4 divided by 15. So that's the answer of question 2a. So for you to answer question B, you need to have knowledge about matrices. So the question says, given that P is equals to matrix 2, 5, 1, 3, and Q is equals to matrix 3, negative 5, negative 1, 2, evaluate Roman numeral 1, PQ, Roman numeral 2, PQ, multiplied by matrix negative 3, 1. So for me to find question B, Roman numeral 2, I need to multiply matrix P and matrix Q. So the first thing I'll write down their order. Matrix P is a 2 by 2 matrix, and matrix Q is a 2 by 2 matrix. And for two matrices to be multiplied, the first column of the matrix and the second row of the matrix must be equal. And since they are equal, my final matrix will be a 2 by 2 matrix. To be a 2 by 2 matrix, then I'll write down the matrix of P, which is 2, 5, 1, 3, then matrix Q, which is 3, negative 1, negative 5, 2. Then I'll use row by column to multiply these two matrices. I'll say 2 multiplied by 3. Then I'll say plus 5 multiplied by negative 1. Then I'll say 2 multiplied by negative 5. Then plus 5 multiplied by 2. Then I'll come to the second row. I'll say 1 multiplied by 3 plus 3 multiplied by negative 1. Then I'll say 1 multiplied by negative 5 plus 3 multiplied by 2. So 2 multiplied by 3, that's 6. Then 5 multiplied by negative 1, that's negative 5. So it will be 6 minus 5. Then 2 multiplied by negative 5, that's negative 10. Then 5 multiplied by 2, that's 10. So it will be plus 10. Then 1 multiplied by 3, that's 3. Then 3 multiplied by negative 1, that's negative 3. Then 1 multiplied by negative 5, that's negative 5. Plus 3 multiplied by 2, that's 6. Then 6 minus 5, that's 0. Negative 10 plus 10, that's 0. 3 minus 3, that's 0. Negative 5 plus 6, that's 1. So finding question B, Roman numeral 2, which is matrix PQ multiplied by matrix negative 3, 1. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is know if these two matrices can be multiplied, and you can only do that by writing down their order. So I'll say PQ. The order of PQ is 2 by 2 matrix, and the order of matrix negative 3, 1, that's a 2 by 1 matrix. And since the column of the first matrix is equals to the row of the second matrix, this means that these two matrices can be multiplied. And the final matrix that I need to have after multiplying these two matrices is a 2 by 1 matrix. So I'll write down the matrix of PQ, which is an identity matrix, which is in this form 1 0 1 1 0 0 1. And the thing that you must know is that if you multiply an identity matrix with any matrix, the final answer is that matrix. An identity matrix is just the same as 1. So multiplied by matrix negative 3 1, and I'll use row by column to multiply these two matrices. So I'll say 1 multiplied by negative 3, that's negative 3 multiplied by 1, plus 0 multiplied by 1. Then I'll say 0 multiplied by negative 3, plus 1 multiplied by 1. Negative 3 multiplied by 1, that's negative 3, plus 0 multiplied by 1, that's 0. Then 0 multiplied by negative 3, that's 0. Plus 1 multiplied by 1, that's 1. Negative 3 multiplied by 0, that's negative 3. 0 multiplied by 1, that's 1. So my final answer is matrix negative 3 1. For question C, it says solve the equation 5x squared minus 2x minus 1 is equals to 0, giving your answers to 2 decimal places. So the answers must be given in 2 decimal places. So for you to answer question C, you need to know the quadratic formula, which is written in this form: negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And the next thing that you're supposed to know about any question that is dealing with the quadratic formula is to find a, b, and c. So a is 5, b it's negative 2, and c is negative 1. So I'll say x is equals to, I'll write down the quadratic formula: negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Then I'll say x is equals to, I'll replace Where this b, I'll replace with -2, since I have a negative on b and my b is -2. Putting that -2, it will be 2, because negative multiplied by negative give a positive, so I have 2 plus or minus the square root of my b there. B squared will be -2 squared minus 4. My a, that's 5, so I'll say multiplied by 5. My c is -1, so I'll say multiplied by -1 over 2. My a is 5, so I'll say 2 multiplied by 5. Then I'll say x is equals to 2 plus or minus 4 squared, that's 2 squared, that's 4. Then -4 multiplied by 5 multiplied by -1, that's 20, over 2 multiplied by 5, that's 10. So I'll say x is equals to 2 plus or minus 4 plus 20, that's 24, over 10. And the square root of 24, that's 4.89898. So x is equals to 2 plus or minus 4.89898 over 10. So for this equation, I will divide it into 2 parts. The other one will have a positive sign and the other one will have a minus sign. So I'll say x is equals to 2 plus 4.89898 over 10. So the other one will have a minus sign, so I'll say x is equals to 2 minus 4.89898 divided by 10. So I'll say x is equals to 2 plus 4.89898, that's 6.89898 divided by 10. So I'm going to first deal with this solution. So I'll say x is equals to 10 into 6.89898 is 0.69. That will be the answer. If I leave it 2 decimal places, you need to notice that the question said you need to leave your answer to 2 decimal places. So I'll say x is equals to 2 minus 4.89898, that's negative 2.89898 divided by 10, and negative 2.89898 divided by 10, that's negative 0.29. So my 2 answers are x is equals to 0.69 or x is equals to negative 0.2. Simple interest is defined as a fixed percentage of the principal that is paid to an investor, irrespective of the number of years the principal has been left on deposit. This means that the money that is invested at simple interest will increase in value by the same amount. So if I have this example, if Mr. A invests 500 kwacha in project X and he is told that he will be receiving an interest rate of 10%, this means that each and every year Mr. A will be getting a simple interest of 50 kwacha. 10% of 500 kwacha, that's 50 kwacha. The formula that is used to calculate simple interest is simple interest is equals to principal multiplied by the rate of interest multiplied by time. And the formula that is used to calculate the total value of savings is total value of savings is equals to the principal plus the formula of simple interest. And we can factor out this expression. The principal there, it's common. So I'll say my principal, which is common, open bracket, I'll have 1 plus RT. So that's the formula that is used to calculate the total value of savings. Then if I want to find the principal or the present value, I can write that expression is equals to the total value of savings. Then I'll say P0, or the P0 is equals to PT divided by 1 plus RT.